Welcome everyone to our call with LASSO Framework, our, let's see, CrossFit affiliate sales and marketing. So if there's been a more exciting title, just, stop me right now. But I think honestly, this is a call that I'm going to be excited to send out to people, the recording after the fact, because I don't think everyone realized all the different things that we can and will talk about. And I got to meet with the LASSO team beforehand, and we were saying that this may end up needing to become a series of calls. So if you feel like some of the pieces didn't get dug into enough, or you really would have liked to hear more on a specific segment, we are ready to do that. What we wanted to do for this call, assuming we chunk up our time correctly, is really attack 3 different segments of where someone might fall in affiliate ownership. And hopefully if you're hearing about one segment, you're like, well, that's not really me. We'll get to yours as the presentation goes on. And I don't want to steal too much more of LASSO's thunder. So I'm going to hand it over to Blake to kick it off. And if you want to introduce some of the team that you have presenting with you, I don't know if some are just kind of hanging out to observe or if everyone's talking. So
yeah, for sure. Yeah, guys. So we're super excited to be here. We've already met with, I'm in Indiana, so we already met with the Midwest guys. So I saw CJ on here, so I'm excited. I saw I got your website. So we got Sherman. Me and Sherman own LASSO. We started LASSO, what, Sherman, 5 years ago now? Yep. So we both combined, owned 3 gyms, CrossFit gyms for over 23 years together. So we're not just marketers. We're also gym owners and have lived in the CrossFit space. So we understand all the things that you go through and all the hours that you spend for sometimes in the beginning, not very much profit and, paying yourself. So what we're here to do today, we're not here. I just want to say, we're not here to sell you guys. We're not here to do any of that. What we want to do is probably debunk some myths a little bit. Talk about what bigger players are doing that are crushing it, like other franchises and things like that. And then what you can do right now, and then what you can do in the future, and when you're ready for those things. So anything from low-hanging fruit for like simple clicks on your website to make an end user experience easier, your social media, and then when paid marketing comes in play, how to like just your organic kind of stuff, and all of that tying into one. Because we know that, like, I think of everything like Amazon. If you can become frictionless and make the end user experience easier and better, you will succeed. The harder you make it for somebody to come into your gym, harder it is going to be to buy, right? They have enormous amount of choices when it comes to fitness right now, right? Like there's it's worse than coffee. Like there's more than Starbucks, right? So you can go anywhere you want. So you have to be super, super clear and dialed in on your messaging. And I'll go through some of your websites today. It needs to be clear, not cute. So when somebody, like when I have both my gyms, people would come in and be like, hey, I want to sign up because everything you said on your website like sounds like what I need, right? And so knowing who that end user is and then dialing in your messaging. So when they go to your website, they are educating themselves to be like, hey, Bobby, I want to sign up for your gym, man. It sounded like you were talking to me on your website, and that's what you want to hear. Because then you're like, I got it dialed in on who my brand voice is. And then you don't detour away from that. That's what you dial in every single time on your social media. You pound that point in that we deliver results, because here's the thing, like we get it, guys. CrossFit's all about community, but most people aren't going to pay for community. What they're paying for is to go from I feel like X to I want to feel like X. The community keeps them engaged and keeps them there, and it's an added element. But the first thing they do, like I don't go on lawn care because I was like, I want to meet my lawn care guy. That sounds like a great time. No, I have a need and I need a service to solve a problem. People buy for solutions, not for other things, right? Granted, I believe like I saw a big post about loneliness and things like that, but that's a byproduct. That's not the main thing. So Sherman, if you have anything to add, but we're going to let Tommy kind of start first, and then we'll kind of go through things.
No, I'm good. Let Tommy jump into it.
Okay, cool. I'll cue you up, man.
Awesome. So my name is Tommy Allen, you guys. Just to go full circle here. So Katie did my L1 way, way long time ago, like over a decade ago. I showed her that picture, but like, so it's funny being on this call because that really kind of kickstarted my journey into changing my own health, then leading other people, and now I own a gym in Houston, Texas, and I get to impact other people's lives. And I have a real passion for helping people that are in this group because I have been in the trenches and we have had some success. And if there's anything that I can do to allow you guys to have that kind of fulfillment in this industry, I'm all about it. And the goal for me today is to give you guys a ton of value, kind of meet you where you're at with your business, because I understand that there are limits to what we can do inside of our business depending on where we're at. Some of us we're still the owner operator and we have to coach a lot of hours and we wear all the hats. And we just don't have the same tools at our disposal that are going to move our business in the right direction versus some of us that are a little bit more established. Maybe we have a team, we're a little bit more in a managerial role, and we can start to think bigger picture in terms of what we want to do to drive growth. And the goal is to be able to kind of give each of you, depending on where you're at, some good nuggets and tidbits of what's the biggest lever that you can pull that's going to drive your business forward, depending on what your vision is for your business. I think the beautiful thing about gym ownership and specifically the affiliate world and living in the world of CrossFit, we can all have different visions of what we're trying to do with our business. Some of us want to run the original Coach Glassman model, and maybe that's a little bit more like small group PT, semi-private PT. That's where we thrive. Katie, I know that's been highly successful for you in your business. Some of us like the high energy of running large group sessions, and there's no right or wrong, you guys. There's just trade-offs and understanding and making sure there's alignment with what are you trying to do with your business? Where do you get fulfillment? And make sure that the structure, the offer, the marketing, all of that's buttoned up so you can go fulfill that and live that every single day. So Blake, go ahead and tee me up, sir, and then we can jump right into this. I don't like talking at people. I like this to be conversational. So Katie, I believe you're going to be kind of moderator for me. If questions do come up, you can kind of just interrupt me and if we need to take this in a couple different directions, I'm all for it. Whatever adds value to your guys' day. Cool. CrossFit affiliate. Let's talk about sales and marketing, you guys. So when I first got into sales, I hated it. Absolutely hated it. I always equated sales with just like used cars, things of no value, slimy, all of that stuff. And as I got into it and I kind of was able to kind of find my voice and being able to help people and talk to people, what we are really doing here is we're coaching people. We're understanding what the problem is, what it is that we're trying to solve, and we're trying to add value and provide solutions to them with our business if our business is the right fit for what they need. We're not trying to force them into anything. We're just saying, hey, what do you need? How can I best help you? And if I feel like I can help you, here's how I think I can help you, right? Go ahead, Blake. Let's go to the next slide. So the hardest lesson I had to learn, and I know everybody, if you are a seasoned affiliate owner, I know this is going to resonate with you. We are people that are here to serve people. And I think everybody on this call who got into gym ownership for the right reason honestly wakes up every day saying, how can I be of service to my community of people? And with that responsibility, sometimes it could go to the detriment of our own health. I can tell you, I've gone through periods where I was a gym owner in the worst shape of my life because I was so stressed out trying to help other people be successful with their own health that I started to neglect my own. I've also had periods of time where I learned how to take care of myself, which helped me or allowed me to better take care of other people. And so I wanted us to just first start out with just a mindset check for everyone on the call to honestly ask yourself of like, this business, yes, it's meant to serve people, but at the end of the day, it also has to be working for you and where you're trying to take your life and the priorities you have for yourself. And the reason I like to start there is because if you take an honest assessment and ask yourself, is this actually working for me? You may come to the realization that it is, and that's fantastic. And let's really, really, really start to unpack what's working for you and what are the levers that you can pull to be more successful. And maybe some of you are at that point of being slightly resentful, slightly burnt out, trying to figure out how do we make this work. And it's okay to say that out loud because Everybody on this call has been in those trenches experiencing it. So understand that if your model isn't working for you, it's okay to say, I love CrossFit. I love what we do. Is there possibly something else that I could be doing to still be successful in this world and serve people? And maybe it just looks a little bit different than what I'm currently doing. It's okay to say that. And so it's things that we can start to look at. What needs to be true in order for everyone on this call to feel good about waking up every day and doing the work, the great work, amazing work that we all do? And what I call that, it's essentially just called net owner benefit, right? Like, am I making the money I need to make? Do I have the time I need to be with my kids, be with my family, do the things that I love to do? From that, we can develop, okay, is the business model built to support what that end goal is, right? Am I the guy that has to coach all the hours and not making enough money and trying to bang my head against the wall to figure out how to make this all work? And then from there, we can get into getting really strategic about, hey, you guys are all on the West Coast. My family lives in San Diego. My mom is constantly asking me when I'm moving back. And I'm like, guys, the real estate alone makes this really, really hard to make this worthwhile. If you guys are asking those questions of how do I make my business work given the circumstances that you find yourself in, we can start to unpack, maybe, is there a better solution that best fits your market? It's okay to say that, and it's okay to come up with a different solution so you guys can still continue to wake up every day and love the work that you do. Not to say you have to, but I'm just saying that that's an option, right? So we start there, right? Now, based on that vision that we have for our business, go ahead, Blake, let's go to the next slide. We can start to think about, okay, what's the stage of business that I'm in? And then what's the right tool for the right job to get me to the next level based on what my goals are? A lot of people on this call may be 100% fine with being owner operators. That's excellent. You love what you do. You don't want to manage people. Trust me, the reason why I have white in my beard is because of managing people. Okay, 100%. If I could just like coach people all day, every day and just love what I do, that'd be awesome. I decided to take my business in a different direction. But depending on where you're at, startup, kind of getting into scale or getting into ultra growth mode, there's different marketing and sales tools that you can really focus on to get your business to the next level. So for example, if from the previous slide you said, hey, what really works for me is a business that can exist between 15 and 30K monthly reoccurring. I'm making the money that I want to make. I'm working the hours that I want to work. And my business represents the vision that I have for how I want to be here. Okay, cool. Then let's talk about, if you're in the startup phase, how do we get you to the systems phase? If some of you are on this call are trying to build a CrossFit empire, right? Like we're trying to do multi-location, whatever that looks like. And right now you're in the systems phase. Okay, how do we get to the scale phase? And what are the different levers I need to pull in order to be successful in that version? So at each stage of business you have for your gym, there's different tools and different strategies that you can apply. That's the easiest lever to pull to get you to where you're trying to get to. So I just want to bring that up to say, guys, we're not here to say, hey, paid marketing works for everyone. I'll tell you right now, if you're in startup phase, it's not the lever to pull if you're in startup phase. Now, if you're in scale phase, it might be something we have to go explore. And here are the trade-offs in terms of wanting to do that, right? So again, the same way that we would scale an air squat for our grandmother all the way up to training the Olympic weightlifter, what's the right tool for the right job and how can I meet you where you're at to make sure that we're doing all the right things, right? Let's go ahead and go to the next slide. So let's talk about the startup phase, you guys. What I've seen just from data, a lot of the gyms that we work with, we're usually talking about 0 to 15K monthly recurring net revenue, okay? You're still doing most of the work. Maybe we've hired a few part-time staff members. Maybe we've been lucky and been able to hire a full-time staff member, right? The easiest things for you guys to do, focusing on referrals and reactivations. If anyone in this group has been a part of like things like best hour of the day, or even you've gotten your CrossFit level 3, level 4, really focusing on the client experience and making sure people are getting to their goals, that's the easiest lever for you to pull. Make sure your service is excellent. Make sure your facility is clean. Make sure the experience is like just top notch, right? Because the easiest way for you to build your gym is through referrals and reactivations. People will refer the people that they know if you are getting life-changing results for people, which if they're doing CrossFit, we know that they're going to be on the right track. They're doing all the right things, right? Maybe we're starting to dip our toe into organic content. And guys, I don't need you to become like a New York Times columnist with this stuff. Like, it's just the easiest way to create organic content. If you took a lot of the problems that you solve on a day-to-day basis for your ideal client avatar, I think if we all closed our eyes and we thought about that perfect client that we all have, or maybe it's like a handful of them, what are the problems that you're solving? Take that and start just creating small content around it. It could be as simple as just shooting a video on your phone, uploading it like 30 seconds. It could be that simple. Okay. But doing a lot more of that just starts to build trust with people of like, hey, I don't know this person, but I like what they have to say, and they're speaking directly to me. Okay. Yeah. Service worth bragging about. Simple enough. We got to make sure our coaching is good, you guys. Investing in staff development, make sure anybody that's on the floor. I still get inspired. So when Sherman and I went to the Midwest CrossFit Affiliate Summit, and I had the distinct pleasure of watching, some of the most amazing trainers go through what it's like to run a group session. And it always still inspires me to say, like, guys, like, that's the standard, right? Like, every single time, that should be what we're really trying to pursue. SEO optimized website, guys, there's a lot of different resources at your disposal that are incredibly affordable nowadays. I mean, for some of us who've been in the game for over a decade, we used to have to push all, like, kind of build all this stuff together. I'm going to go on to WordPress and I'm going to try and figure out how to do this. And I'm going to be taking pictures by myself. Honestly, you guys, between things like PushPress or Zen Planner or Kilo or SiteFit or whatever, you could get almost an out of the box solution that works really, really well in this phase of business. Great SEO on your website, great CRM system, great way to follow with lead nurture. All of that is there for what I would consider a very reasonable price. The last thing to look at, guys, local business partnerships. Think about complementary services of, if your your members at your gym are going to a chiropractor, or they're going to a physical therapist, or they're going to like a food prep company, or they're going to like a juice bar, whatever, a yoga studio, whatever it is. Think of ways where you can create win-win situations for you and that business owner. Hey, if I give you exposure to my community, I give you a monthly highlight in my newsletter, I have you come in and run like a free session for my members that basically gives you an audience to promote your services. In return, maybe you, depending on what your business is, you could provide a small 10 to 15% discount to my members. Things like that, creating those two-way streets. It's a long-term play. It's not gonna bear fruit immediately, but it's amazing how big of a net you can cast once you have those business partnerships. Because what will start to happen is, if somebody walks into that business and they're like, hey, I'm trying to get healthy, I'm trying to change my life, I'm trying to do all these things, they're going to think of your affiliate first. That person took the time to build a relationship with me. I really like that person. They give me access to their audience. Most really intelligent business owners will reciprocate and say, hey, you should go check those guys out.
I will say, to interrupt and not throw us off course, that is something that I find to be hugely underutilized. And if you're already doing it and you're like, no, it's not, Katie, then I think that's a big leg up that you might not even realize, even if you do consider yourself more in the startup phase. And if you are beyond startup and you didn't do this, go back and do it. Because it's so simple in the fact that you can, and it can extend outside of the industry, right? Your chiropractors and your PTs and your massage therapists. It can extend to the coffee shop. It can extend to other businesses that you vet and trust. And those, either they can come and use your service as a member, or you just have referrals of places to go, like the coffee shop that everyone goes to, the place everyone goes to get lunch afterward. I know a lot of gyms that don't see themselves as a viable business in the community that can leverage relationships with other businesses, and you are. And if you don't have connections within the industry, if you don't have like the massage therapist that you refer everyone to, the PT or the whatever, like PT, I go back and forth with, because a lot of times I think we do a lot of that in the gym. But if you know like a really good, this kind of doctor, that kind of specialist that you can refer from personal experience or client's experience, and that someone you know and trust, that is huge, because they trust you and you're showing that you're not trying to do it all. You have referrals for them. So if you haven't done that, go back and do it.
Yeah, if you guys like
Yeah.
something super simple, yeah, if you guys are running like a committed club, I know it's kind of like that's kind of like a big thing nowadays. I'll take all my committed club members, I'll pull a raffle out, I'll buy a gift certificate at a coffee shop, a dog bakery, or whatever, support their business and give it to my members and say, hey, congratulations, you won the monthly committed club raffle. Right. So you're just creating those networking opportunities to share business is
And
essentially
Bobby was
what you're
talking
doing.
about, he paired with a real estate agent. And I saw another gym in our region that did that as well. And the real estate agent came out and produced organic content at the gym and said, hey, everyone, if you're coming to the neighborhood and I'm buying you your house, you got to come check out this gym. They've got a 65 and older class. They've got this, that. And she created the content and then just collaborated with the gym owner. So I love that you're doing that, Bobby. Real estate, definitely, that's another great one.
That's exactly how it went here too. He came
Nice.
out and did his own organic stuff and put it out there.
Awesome, guys. So that's startup phase. Now, for some of us, right, like when it comes to the sales system, how do we make this as easy as possible for you? Because again, remember, you're wearing all the hats most of the time in this phase. Um, think self booking links, just making it easy for people to say, hey, I'm raising my hand, I'm interested. How do I get to know you guys? Or how do I book a free intro? Whatever it is, whatever your front end offer is, make it easy for them to self book. Okay. And again, there's systems out there, there's software out there that allows you to do that. I will say, if for some of you who are still running free trials, free weeks, I would highly suggest you start to um, lean into possibly doing an intro offer of like a conversation first. It's amazing how much better my conversions are in my gym when I start with some trust building. Hey, just tell me about you. Like what made you interested in signing up and checking out CrossFit? How'd you hear about us? What's the problem you're trying to solve so I can better know if I'm the best person to serve you? That goes a long way in people being like, this guy's not here to sell me something. He's genuinely looking out for my best interest and he's trying to take care of me, right? Something easy that you guys can implement, even if it's just a simple phone call or like an intake form, whatever it is, you guys can work through that. Look to implement a CRM system that allows for a certain level of automation. I know we all live in the automated world and I know it gets annoying after a while, but you'd be surprised how just a little bit of extra, like, hey, thank you so much for reaching out to CrossFit so-and-so. You know, were you interested in personal training or group sessions, or how can I best help you? Whatever that, how you want to get that conversation going, that speed to lead will help you convert more and more members as they start to raise your hand and say, hey, I think your business can help me. Um, and yeah, automation, there's lead nurtures that can push you out for 6 months, 12 months, 18 months. Because a lot of people may say, hey, this sounds interesting. I don't know if I'm ready to sign up now. Hey, that's fine. I'm going to keep sending you valuable content and keep building that trust over time. That's the goal of this, you guys. So leverage automation and systems because it's going to help you leverage your time, and then just make it as frictionless as possible to get conversations started. That's essentially it.
I've heard with the CRM implementation that you should be striving to get to like under a minute in your response time versus 10 minutes. So
I think that,
Yeah.
I was gonna say, you think
Go ahead,
about it,
Blake.
right? When somebody has a problem, and I always use this analogy, like say I need landscaping done or my sprinkler system, I'm not just calling one person. I'm calling 5 different companies, right? And the first one that gets back to me and that sounds like they have their stuff together is probably going to earn my business. I think a lot of people think that like, oh, they opted in for me, so they're only contacting me. No, they have a problem. They don't know the difference a lot of times between what you do, the CrossFit methodology, F45, Orange Theory. All they know is I want to get in shape and I want to feel better. Whoever picks up the phone and calls me and acts like they care is going to win the business. We hear it all the time that like, oh, they were bad leads. And then we go back and we message like, hey, have you joined a gym yet? You're like, yeah, I joined F45. Well, why do you think they joined F45? It wasn't because they were better. They're probably actually a lot of times more expensive. It was because they called and they followed up with the lead. You would have won that business if you would have got back to them quicker. So we say like, what's the gold standard? Minimum 5 minutes. And like, here's the thing, like AI is taking over the world. Human to human connection will always win. I don't care what anybody says. When you remember somebody went on to Florida for a trip on their honeymoon, and AI is not going to remember that, and you sent them a text last week, hey man, just wanted to check in how your trip went. Hope you had a great time. Do you want to meet? Do you want to check in this week and come in for an intro? They're going to be like, wow, that person cared and they remembered. If you leaned, there's a leaning into AI And I think AI is a great tool for content to produce at a high level very fast and reduce the amount of time that like this presentation, we can do it really fast. But the content you have to put into AI always has to be great, because if you put garbage in, you're going to get garbage out, right? And so AI just doing all of your lead nurture is never going, it's just like the easiest way to put it. And then this came up is like, you know, when you used to call and you still have to press 0 to get an operator, the same thing is going to happen to AI, and it already happens. Representative, human. Like I type in those things because I don't want to talk to AI chat. I want to talk to a real person. It's just the new 0 when it comes to lead nurture. Go ahead, Tommy. That was my rant.
Awesome, guys. So moving into the next phase. So for some of us, we may be in the stage of our business where we know it can't be a one man, one woman show, right? Like we're just maxed out. In order for this thing to continue to be successful, we got to start being leaders in our gym, right? We have to start developing other people to be able to deliver the same standard that we do. Some of us, maybe that's not the goal, but some of us on this call, like you're like, yes, I'm trying to create some freedom so I can have some work-life balance. Cool. Nothing, I mean, I want to say like nothing changes. That's not true. Obviously, a lot changes, but like to Katie's point, all of this needs to be built on the foundation of the previous step. So to her point, if you haven't taken care of those basic foundational level things, go back and take care of that. And then we can start to add some stuff on top, because again, these things won't be the best use of your time if the foundation isn't there. You're basically just going to be like spinning around in circles, trying to figure out what's wrong with your business. Okay. Biggest mistake I made early on in my gym ownership experience was I thought everyone could read my mind. That's not true. So when I started having to hire and develop people and have it rely less on me so I could have some work-life balance, we have to start getting into things like operationally, like things like SOPs and playbooks. I know CrossFit Affiliate Network has done an amazing job putting together resources for you guys of like, hey, here's some of the best practices that like CrossFit Roots and some of the best players in the market do day in and day out. Utilize that stuff as much as possible, you guys, and use it as a template and curate it based on what you're trying to do with your business. It doesn't have to be the exact same carbon copy, but leverage those resources, because what they're going to do is they're going to create speed for you to be able to build your business if that's what you're trying to do. Your offer structure, you don't have to do this, but you now are in a place where you can start, you have the bandwidth to start running a slightly more not complicated, but complex model of, it doesn't necessarily always have to be just everyone has to go into group sessions. I'm sure everybody on this call has had someone in our gym where I'm like, I know you can be successful. I think I just got to work one-on-one with you for like 2 to 3 weeks, right? Like, let me just help you get past this initial hurdle, and then I'll put you right back in a group and you're going to go kick butt, right? So you can start to develop different types of offer structures that curate what you do a little bit better to the person sitting in front of you. We're still going to do CrossFit or a version of CrossFit. You're just paying for my attention, and I can completely make this as custom as you need to so you can be successful. That's what people are paying for at the end of the day. Not saying you guys are trying to become personal trainers, not suggesting that at all. I'm just saying, like, I'm sure everyone has that person that comes to mind where like, look, give me like a month to work one-on-one with you. We're going to go so much further and I can help you so much better if I just have if you have my undivided attention, right? So we can start getting into different offer structures like PT plus group, maybe it's straight to group, maybe start adding in a little bit of nutrition, whatever that looks like for your business. We can start creating those different revenue streams because you guys now have the bandwidth to do that. Paid advertising. So your business, I'm sure all of us know this, like if we're running referrals and reactivations and maybe relying on CrossFit.com to help push leads our way, I'm sure all of us are probably getting somewhere between, depending on our market, somewhere between like 3 to 7 new clients per month, right? Now, even if you have amazing churn, which basically means like how many clients are we losing every single month, the gold standard is between 3 to 5%. You guys are naturally going to get your business to the place where all the people that you're bringing in are just replacing the people that are leaving for whatever reason, work, moving, pregnancy, whatever it is, right? And if you're not satisfied with where your business is at that stage, that's when you can start to look into other mechanisms like paid advertising. Okay. But only after you've mastered everything else that I've talked about beforehand. You don't want to just jump to paid advertising. You want to do all the basics really, really well. Think of it as like, let's just get really good at the air squat so that we can build to a really solid overhead squat over time. Right. And when we start talking about paid ads, you guys, the decision you're making is I'm not satisfied with where my business is at right now, and I'm already really good at the organic and referral plays. If you're asking yourself that question or that resonates with you, then maybe paid ads could be a good fit for you, but only then. Okay. Different types of paid ads. Google ad searches. These are people who are problem aware, not solution aware. These are the people that are going to Google saying personal trainer near me, gym near me, CrossFit near me, strength training near me, whatever it is. They know they need help. And your goal is to try to be on the top, 3 to 5 business listings that they see that so that, hey, they could solve that problem for me, right? Meta ads, on the other hand, Facebook ads, these people are problem unaware and solution unaware, right? Like we're interrupting their life to make a pitch about our business. Easiest way to think about it, I know like everyone on here is probably my age or possibly a little bit older. Maybe none of us have been on Tinder before, but you guys remember like the swipe right. And now you have like, okay, cool. Like this looks cool, but let's just get this conversation started. That's essentially what Facebook or Meta ads are, is someone saying like, hey, this is interesting. I might be interested, but these people are cold, cold, cold. Takes a while to build trust with them over time. Most of the time you're looking at somewhere between like 30 days to 4 months in order for them to take action, but nothing will replace eyeballs on your business and getting exposure quicker than Meta ads. Okay. So like the trade-off is you have this 24/7 revolving billboard going on of people saying, okay, cool, there's this business, they're speaking to me. It looks like people like me. I think they can solve my problem. The trade-off of that is it's going to be really cold, and you're probably successfully only going to close 1 out of 10 leads. So for anyone who's had or tried Facebook ads before, most of your frustration comes from the fact that 9 out of 10 times people are not responding. They're telling you to F off. They're not interested. They're just ghosting you, whatever it is. But the reality is you only need 1 out of 10 in order for that marketing lever to be successful for your business. We do this a ton with clients, but again, only if it's the right tool for the right job based on where you're at in your business.
So 1 out of
I'm
10
going to
cover the cost.
1 out of 10 guys, if like think about it in terms of baseball, right? Like if you're batting 300, you're going to the Hall of Fame. I need you guys to bat 100, just 1 out of 10. And the ROI on that alone will pay for the paid
Yes.
advertising just in lifetime value.
Right.
But you can't fixate on the 9 out of 10 that are not interested. You only need 1 out of 10. But that's why I'm saying like only pull this lever after you've done everything else really, really well. I'll pause right there, you guys. Yeah.
I love that. No free stuff. No free offers.
No free stuff, you guys. Yeah.
One thing to think about too, right? When you're running ads, you don't look at, I understand like if I spend X this month, right? That is a product-based service like an Apple phone. It cost me X to get that product, and my return, my ROAS on it was X. But you're getting a reoccurring model where let's say you sign up 5 people this month for $200, that's $1,000. And that LTV of one client, let's just say they stay for 6 months, is $3,000, right? So those 10 people is actually, way more than what's coming in just that month. And then the next month you sign up another 10. Those keep compounding on themselves. That's why you don't like, you're going to have ebbs and flows. You're going to have seasonal business where some months it's going to be great. Like we started with one gym, North Naples, 25 the first month, then down to 16. And that's where I say it will level off, but that's why knowing your ARM to figure out your, your length of engagement, to figure out your LTV, to really look a long picture at, does this make sense? Because without that LTV, it doesn't matter. And I'll say, like Tommy had to hop on another call, but what the big players, the algorithm, the big thing that you guys, maybe you notice it yourself, but like when I go on Instagram, I barely see my followers as much like post. I'm seeing nothing that I see a lot more of people that I don't follow, because what the algorithm is doing these days is it's putting to a small audience and then going broader of people that are interested in fitness. So like your post that crushes it it might actually reach like, you know, CJ's in Indiana. It might reach California. Doesn't really help him. Whereas before, Instagram was like an email list, right? I'm going to post it and everybody of my followers are going to see it. But like even the big names like Hormozy and like Neil Patel and all those guys will tell you is it goes to a micro audience and then keeps spreading. So it's even harder to reach people organically and grow, because I used to say like, hey, the only people you're going to reach are your followers, right? But like at this point, you're not even reaching all your followers anymore. So I say that by saying, you know, like we've worked with X4, Metabolic, and then other big franchises that are spending $4,000 to $7,000 a month in ad spend because they know they have to keep getting in front of people and getting in front of a broader audience to grow and keep growing. So one of the big things is once you guys get to a point, and I think that's the best point that one of the great points Tommy made a lot, but you're going to come to a point where your retention and your signups are just replacing each other. And you're just banging your head against the wall of like, how can I grow this thing? And I've been stuck here for 6 months. You've already developed the systems. You already have the processes. Your churn is put in place. This is where you pour on gas on the fire. You're saying, I know I can keep people. I just need more leads. I need more people coming in the door. And one thing that Tommy, you know, said that like 1 out of 10, but here's the thing. The 9 people that didn't opt in, you always say like if you had a room of 100 people and you said, hey, who all wants to get in better shape? 95 are going to raise their hand, right? People buy on emotion. So at some point over Thanksgiving or who knows when, if you're still in their email box, they're going to think, oh, I got to go to CrossFit Indiana. Oh, I got to go to Bobby's gym, right? When they wake up on Monday morning feeling horrible. So staying on that lead nurture, because Sherman's had people when he had his gym that literally we calculated it came in 12 months after she opted in and no showed for an appointment. Her problem didn't go away. The emotional pain point did until when it came back up. Katie, you're going to say something earlier.
No, I think that everything you guys are saying is great. I think that spot of we need to get more people in the door. I hear that all the time. Gordon, you probably do too. And I think we have gotten to the point where we know that some people, that is a fact, and they are really borderline, this system's going to scaling phase. And others are saying that I just need more people in the door. And in actuality, the foundation is shaky and they need to revisit some of the simpler, I'll say simpler because they're the lower hanging fruit that Tommy outlined things. And it feels like, but if I just get more people in the door? It's like the floors aren't clean, but if I just get more people in the door. And so I don't want to overstate and be repetitive because a lot of you might be like, hey, let's get to the scale up phase. But I do hear that a lot. I think I just need paid ads. I think I just need more people in the door. And then once they meet the community, I'll have them for life, right? But this is going to be the ongoing battle. People will churn. It doesn't mean you're bad at your business. But also, yeah, just check your foundation first, for sure.
Yeah. And I think one thing to, you know, when you get to the $30,000, like in any phase, right? Like when you start paid ads or when you're doing something, don't stop one thing. It's a cohesive effort to do everything, right? Like me and Sherman sometimes go back to like, how do we build this thing? Like we stop doing this one thing and just reaching out to people, cold DMs, all of this stuff, all work together. So making sure, and I'm going to go through the websites, making sure your branding is on point. Like I said, it is not, it used to be like post every day. It's not like that anymore. It's quality over quantity. Your quality posts matter. Just putting a post out there, it doesn't get any views. It doesn't get any traction because it's not engaging people. Like saves and shares are the biggest thing. Shares because it's going to bring people to the platform, right? When you share a post and then somebody else goes back and looks at it, the algorithm saying, wow, they want to get this out because it's super important. I'm going to push that to more people. Like the big guys like Mr. Beast and all those will say, I could do this all again because I know how it works, right? And they do. They know the system that works and what gets eyeballs on it and to get it out to it. It's just a formula. And then just really developing your team. And Sherman, I'll let you jump in on any of this, or Josh.
No, you're doing a great job. You're doing a
Appreciate
great
it,
job.
man.
I love it.
All right. So I think one thing I have on my other tab, I'm gonna pull up all the websites real quick. And so if you guys have any questions, and I know actually we have CrossFit Newtown, Matt over here, one of our clients. And so like we're not saying by any means like, hey, we're a paid marketing company and we do some mentorship, like we're the end all be all. Like you have to have a great business in place. And then when like we just started working, like CJ, you know, Sean at Hoosier CrossFit, amazing gym, been around forever. Like then we pour gas on the fire and just absolutely crushing it. But to know who you are is super important. And, you know, I think the biggest thing we notice with these franchises is like, and I go back to me too, is they spend a lot of money up front before they even open their gym. Like they're open their gym with like making money day one. And what we figured out is that like we're only reaching, and I think one of the biggest misconceptions with CrossFit is that like telling people that like they don't need paid marketing and paid marketing doesn't work. Well, let's just be honest. Why would the big people be doing it if it doesn't work? Why would Orange Theory be opening with 400? Why would the Metabolics, all those people be doing it? Because it does work. And like I saw Ryan Fisher post that he spends $500,000 a month on paid ads.
I believe it. I see every one of them for some reason.
Yeah. But why does he do it? He's best friends with Alex because it works and he grows a business and he knows the ROI on it and the LTV on it. So the big thing for you guys is like do all the things leading up to it, and then we're just an amplifier of what you're already doing. That's the easiest way to put it. So let me share my screen. I have all the websites up.
Like, did we get to dive into, and maybe I blanked out, but like, did we get to dive into all the parts of the scale phase? I feel like we were talking about systems and meta, and then did we talk about like the team training for sales and things like that?
So
Maybe
I'll go into
I
branding.
knew we had this up, but I didn't remember if we got to all the parts.
No. So branding, when you're doing like 30, like what we do for our clients in like Newtown, like we're going to sit down and say, okay, who are your ideal clients? What are the 3 problems you solve? Where are they starting? Like, what is the main thing they all say to you? Like, hey, I feel like X. And then what do you feel like now? Right? You are the bridge between those two. Like, that's all you are. When you make, and I don't mean this to be harsh or anything, nobody cares about your coach's bios, right? All they care about is, can you get me results? And are you speaking the same language as me? Because when you start speaking either cute or just like using big terms, it sounds great, but they don't understand it. Like it's just unclear. So, and what I always say to people is, what do you mean by that? And the next sentence that you say is what you probably should have put on your website, right? Make it clear, because it sounds great, but like if I don't understand it, I'm not going to buy it. So understanding, and here's the big thing I see on social media done all the time wrong. People want to make sure it looks fun, it looks inviting, and that you talk about the same thing over and over and over and beat it to the ground, because they are going to look at you. If you're a 50 and plus older gym, we are the best people to get you talk about the pain points of 50-year-olds. Hey, you're feeling older, you want to gain strength, you want to play with your kids. That's all you talk about all the time. When you start diverting and talking about a 20-year-old outing, it doesn't make any sense and it gets confusing for the client. So staying on brand, like, yeah, I'm gonna go down the deep rabbit hole in that. You know, newsletters, podcasts, putting out quality content that people want to actually read and change their lives, right? That they can say, like, I know that I can go here, get something that is of value, and I'm looking forward to your email because it's gonna tell me how to go grocery shop better. It's gonna give me a great recipe that's easy to, like, when it comes up to Thanksgiving, to eat healthy or whatever it may be. Having those things, not just producing stuff to produce stuff, but people that actually read it. And here's the thing, I don't even look at open rate so much. As long as people are not unsubscribing, they're saying, I still want to hear from you. So when you guys write emails, the most important thing is the subject line, right? Something that you want to open. We all get bombarded with emails. So making sure that subject line is something that entices me enough to open it. Producing, like, the easiest way we do something, we take a podcast and then we chunk it up and then we put it out, like using one medium to push everywhere. Like Alex, I know he does a Twitter post. If it gets a lot of hits, he makes a video on that, and then so on and so forth. Having a medium to say, if you go back through all your posts and be like, what was the most engaging post? You should make more of that, right? Spend like once a month, like we go back through of like, what was our most watched video? Okay, we should do more stuff on that. We need to make an email on that. We need to make like a video on that and go even more in depth on that. Systems. So I had multiple locations, but really dialing in, and this goes into like, we do this for, and we'll be doing this for Matt, and we do this for LASSO, is assessment testing for like your coaching. Like we have all probably made a really bad GM hire that like probably almost burned our business down. At least it happened to me. Long story short, moved a guy from Las Vegas to here, paid for it all, about burned my business down, fundraiser stuff for his kid, all this kind of stuff. But going through and being, because everybody will say something in an interview, but what turns out is they're just saying stuff because they want to get hired. Knowing how someone is wired long term. So at like LASSO, everybody has to take a like an assessment test, and this is the role that we need, and then making sure they line up with that role long term, that they're not stretching themselves. Like if Sherman said every day you have to do this, I am an introvert by trade. I could not do it every day, right? Sherman could do this every single day. This is not me. He's like, he loves to do that stuff. That's why I couldn't coach.
Blake is talking. I'm stretching him right now, guys. Stretching him. I'm staying out.
But knowing how somebody's wired, but that also helps you manage them and to make sure that you're putting people in the right places, because we all know that like people and process are the main drivers to get you where you need to be. Because if you guys are trying to build a business to 30K, and we have gyms that do $100,000 and above, and they have the right people in the right seats. Because without that, if you have a GM that's supposed to be a lead coach, and that lead coach is they're not happy, and then you get mad and fire them when actually it was your fault in the first place, putting them in the wrong role, and they told you that, right? So just making sure that everything aligns, having great systems and processes are crucial. We always like saying, I mean, one of the best tests, and I mean, I just did it, but leaving for 7 to 10 days and not touching the business and saying, all right, you got to figure it out, GM. If you do it wrong, like I'm not going to fire you. Like you're having full liberty to do that, but you need to write everything down that you did that you're unsure of. So when you come back, we can fix. And so that way you're creating a business that runs without you if you're trying to create a true business. Sherman, I'll let you go into the sales training.
Okay. Quickly, guys. So the sales training it's just a big piece of what we do as CrossFit gym owners. I always try to say, like, I'm not one of those ones that say, hey, everyone has to do sales if you're on my team. You want to find the people that really want to do it and then train them from there, right? It's okay if someone doesn't want to do sales, right? Like you can force them a little bit, but they're probably not going to ever be totally bought in. And the sales piece is the lifeblood of the business, right? So we need these people to really like it. And a lot of times you'll be surprised who really like sales after you start training them. So a couple of things that you can do. I used to do like a monthly team training where everyone that did sales in the gym, we would get together for about an hour mastermind, and everyone had to write down all of their intros throughout the month. Did they sign them up or not? And then we sort of brainstormed all of those, the ones that went well, the things that went great. Because let's be real, we're selling CrossFit memberships, nutrition, stuff like that. After a while, like I had my gym for 13 years. After a while, there's nothing that anyone can say to me. Like I can come to any one of your gyms right now and sell a membership, and I know absolutely nothing about your gym per se. But I bet you I'll sell some of your memberships easily. So as you guys are growing and expanding, you want to be able to make sure that when you leave, like Blake said, when you remove yourself, right? You go away for a week on vacation, the gym not only survives, but it thrives, right? Like, so like when you come back, oh, we gained 3 members while I was away. Now you're really winning. So the sales training is key. Like I said, the monthly sort of masterminds, I used to call them with the sales team, that was key. And then also making sure that, when you're doing your intro, again, I sort of lean towards Tommy. The whole free thing is just hard. there's just too much going on for them to come in and try to free class because you can't talk to them. So for me, try to give them an intro and make sure that you're totally tuned into them for the intro. Now, guys, one of my biggest things was when I would drop into a gym, I don't want to see Coach Katie. I don't care how great of an athlete coach or great of a whatever she is. I don't want to see Coach Katie finish Fran and then walk over sweaty, drinking her protein shake, and then try to do an intro. We have to be more professional than that, guys. And that's still going on in 2025, right? Like, we just can't have that, right? Like, people, again, people are paying $200, $300, $400+ to join some of our gyms. We can give them a little more respect and time than finishing your hard workout, coming in sweating. Oh, I'm sorry. And like, you're talking to a mom that hasn't worked out in 6 years. She wants to lose 15 pounds, but you're freaking drenched in sweat, heart beating fast. Like, you've already lost. So those are a couple things to do with the team side of it. But if you take nothing away from it, the biggest piece is find the people that want to do the sales and also get them together on at least a monthly cadence. And I get it. I have some part-time coaches. It's hard. You have to make the people that are willing to sacrifice to do it. Listen, I paid my coaches to come to that mastermind, whatever you need to do, but you need the people that are sort of the front line, the sales piece. You need them consistently getting trained because that'll take your business to the next level. So, Blake. Blake, you're muted.
I know.
Rookie.
Rookie mistake. Does anybody have any questions on any of this stuff before I go into like the websites? And here's the other caveat I would say. When we got to like Facebook ads, right? This is something that really, you can try doing it on your own, but a lot of times there's like anything, there's a formula to it, right? Like, in knowing we spend, $60,000 to $80,000 a month on Facebook ads, so we know it works. What you don't want to do is, they say that like you want to spend basically 5 times what an average client would pay for the first month. Let's say it's $200. That would be spending $1,000 just to see if that worked, right? And that is a waste of money for for us. I wouldn't waste $1,000 to see if something works, and we have a lot of revenue coming in. But I'm just saying that to know this isn't something that a lot of times you want to do on your own, that you want to we know that what we're going to put out day one is going to get results. It's not, a lot of gym owners think that marketing doesn't work. It's because they just didn't know the recipe. It'd be like saying CrossFit doesn't work without a coach that actually leads you through it, right? And the proper programming. And if they did deadlifts every single day, you're like, yeah, no wonder your back's like literally ripped to shreds. You do the same thing. Like, we need to mix things up a little bit. So, in saying so, that when you do Facebook ads, and I think one of the big things that Sherman was saying was like the free offer, it never give anything away free for marketing wise. When you run paid ads for free, the mindset of the person you're going to get is somebody looking for free, right? When you start talking about paid programs or longer term programs, the psychological process they have is, I'm investing into 12, 90 days, whatever. They're coming in with a different mindset. So your quality of lead and your conversion rate's going way down anytime you add that word free, which we like people that work with us, we say like, we're not going to say free. Don't ever say free. What we need them coming in thinking is like, that's why the intro process works so well, is that long-term mindset.
Do you want to take a look at a website or two in the time?
Yeah, I got them up. So I was looking at this one now, and correct me if I'm wrong. I do not know the answer to this. Yes, I went to the Instagram, so I don't think it is. But looking at the imagery, and remember, this is imagery. If I'm a male, I might think this is an all-women's gym, right? There's not one male picture on here.
Is it an all-women's gym, Katie? Do you know? Because I thought it was.
I don't think it is.
No, I don't think it is. I don't know this gym. So this call is open to anyone. This isn't a West Coast call.
Okay.
I'm the West Coast rep, but yeah. So this looks like it said, I didn't see where it is.
CrossFit Lindsay.
In Lindsay.
Oh,
Yep.
okay.
And I think it's in Canada, actually.
Yeah.
Yep. So I went to the Instagram. There is a male picture, but with the color imagery and the images, I wouldn't know that. So that would here's a quick story. Story brand would always be like, and story brand certified would be like, hey, can women come to the function? And they're like, yeah, why not? And like, they went through their images, it was all men. They changed it to like women to be on the video, and they never got the question again. Right.
Yeah.
So the other thing I would say, this is cute, not clear. Fitness in here, flourish out there. I don't know what that means, right? Results in the gym so you can live a better life. Way more clear, right? Make it more clear so I get wildly fit. Like wildly isn't a great word. Get results to help you deal with every life's, whatever you want to do in life, would even be better, life's challenges. It makes me think of the challenges. One of the best sayings, and you guys can steal it, but don't make them burn mental calories, try to come in your gym. Make them burn calories when they come in your gym. Don't make it hard to understand. Okay, so that would be like, here's the other thing, guys. This is called above the fold. 80% of people will never go below this if this doesn't make sense.
That's good.
Right. So they will click off here. People have the attention span. Now it's less than a goldfish. So it's 3 seconds. And under 3 seconds, if they read this and they don't understand, they're going somewhere else. Okay. So I went to this one, and the reason I'm going to do this one and cross the velo, and I know this is a push press thing, but I want to show you guys something when it comes to buttons. And I'm not going into the free trial thing. We've already covered that. But if I go into this and I want to even do a free trial, I have to go here. I have to edit, put in this. I still have my old email. I don't know my password because I've never been to your gym. Oh, I'm going to get a one-time code. Oh, now I have to go put in the code. Then it asks me to download an app. If I'm trying to come to your gym for a free trial, you made it exponentially hard. Now imagine you're somebody who's over 50 years old that hates downloading apps. I hate downloading apps anyways. Why would I download an app for something I don't know if I'm going to buy? Then on top of that, it's going to make me sign a waiver and all these other things. This is way too hard, right? You are making it hard for the person to come in. You need to switch your stuff over to like grow appointments and then high level, so it is easy for the client. I guarantee you're losing at least 10 people a month that are not opting into this. And
I've been doing CrossFit for 17 years. I work for the company. I teach the seminars. I go and do drop-ins. If I have to do this, I skip your gym because I don't want to do this. I'm
yeah,
serious.
and you're an
I
avid
want
CrossFit.
the gym that I can just easily get into. Or for this gym, I would actually drop in unannounced to see how they handle it, because
Yeah.
I'm not going to do that process. And then I'll just give them, if I'll ask, do you want some feedback?
Yep.
That's the, and I am the one that loves CrossFit, and I still don't want to do that process.
Exactly. And so, like I said, guys, think of Amazon. I click it, it'll show up at my house in 6 hours. If it's not that easy, and here's the thing, everybody says, well, I want qualified leads. Here's the thing, we are, even us, we are all in a place we need volume over quality. They will feed themselves out of the system. I would rather have 100 people asking me what the price is rather than giving them the price and only have 2, because then I didn't get to explain the value that I give. The only time we recommend putting pricing on your website is if you're at a point where like, I don't care if they join, I'm crushing life. I don't need more money. I have a wait list, right? Other than that, and people always say, well, they're just price shopping. That's really not the truth. They don't know what other question to ask. They're not that knowledgeable. They're just like, it's like when you go see a car. I'm not asking you, well, what, and I'm not a huge car guy, maybe Sherman's more of me, but like, you're not asking like, hey, what's the drivetrain? What's the horsepower? Blah, blah. You're like, what's the price? Right. And those are questions that you just have.
But I think in a lot of industries, also, we could all agree that price sometimes for us is an indicator of quality, is what we're on the hunt for. So if you show me a high price, I may be turned off, sure. But a lot of times that might actually ask more questions of them, like, oh, maybe I'm getting a higher level product. If this plumber costs way more than everyone else, maybe there's a reason for that. I might have at least a follow-up question as to why, because they have a ton of great reviews and they clearly think they can charge way over what would be maybe the market price. Like maybe there's a reason for that. And if that's the clientele you want, so don't be afraid that like, oh, they're price shopping as a bad thing.
Yeah,
Sometimes
exactly.
they're like, I want the best, and now I just found it.
And so I really, good as you, CJ, empowering you to take control of your health. I think it's great. I think we can I would add something in here. So what's the number one thing people join for? Results, right? Have the word results throughout your page. Make them think all the time you are the place for results. They're going to get a transformation. And don't even, I don't like transformation to be clear, but use the word results. Results driven programming. Our classes will get you in the best shape to get you long lasting results. All those words, because that's the one thing they're looking for. So we need to repeat the same thing over and over in their mind. Now it sounds, here's the thing, and I'm not getting in political at all, but like, if you look at like presidency, they repeat their slogan over and over again till it's embedded in your brain so that you know what they do and they make it super clear and super simple. That's the same thing. Now, even when I had my websites, like getting you like in the best shape of your life for long lasting results, it sounded super simple, but sometimes that's the best thing to do is just be clear. But really like the booking links, this is what your booking link should do, right? Just super easy to opt in. And then it goes to a booking page. The other thing, always make sure, and here's one of the best things you guys can do, always make sure, test your, and this sounds dumb, but if you're not getting bookings, go test your booking link.
Yep.
Maybe something's broken. The only thing I would say on this, I would never let anybody book more than 3 to 4 days out. Because if they can't come in within the 3 to 4 days, A, they're not really serious. Because if I book next Wednesday, I have the best intentions, but nobody, not to say nobody, hardly anybody are like business owners and actually put stuff in their calendar and then they forget, right? Because life's going to happen over the weekend. And here's the thing, if they only can book 3 days and they're actually that interested, they're going to reach out and say, hey man, hey Chris, I couldn't come in this week. Do you have anything on Monday? Great. Yeah, I'll get you booked. Right. And then you're going to know that they're more interested. So that is a huge thing for show rate, is getting people within 3 days to come in your gym when it's hot on their mind. Right. The other thing for you guys, and this is a really good point, I don't want to have to go scroll. It's right here. I don't want to have to scroll all the way up to find a button. Have a button after every single section. Because here's the other thing, and your button shouldn't differentiate. It shouldn't be book a discovery call, get started, book a free intro, book a free trial. It's all the same thing, and yours are. I know what to do. I need to book a discovery call, right?
He's got the
The
one that stays up top the whole time while you're scrolling too. Yeah.
But it might not, it probably does a mobile. But the other thing you don't want to do, you have weak call to actions, learn more, or even super strong, like buy now, right? So the analogy that we use in StoryBrand, like I met my wife at a coffee shop. I didn't walk up to her and say, hey, do you want to get married? Like, she'd be like, that's weird, right? Like, hey, do you want to go on a date? Do you want to like get to know each other?
You also didn't say, do you want to learn more?
Yeah. Do you want, that would be really weird as well. So saying those things and having those buttons throughout the page. Instead of this, do things differently, I'd explain what you do differently right there. And maybe it's these. I would just explain, hey, we're the most supportive for all fitness levels and we have a lot of fun doing it, right? And I know that's here, but I would just clarify that. Whenever you have to say, like I said earlier, what do you mean by that? The next thing you say, put on your website. I'll just do this one real quick.
Yeah, if anyone has to hop off, I'm keeping this recording and I'll post it up and I'll send it out to anyone that was on the call. But I think this is cool, so I'm going to let it play out. But if you have to go, thanks for being here.
Yeah. And so these buttons, I would actually probably make these buttons a different color than the red because they kind of blend in a little bit. The other thing I would make, I actually do like videos on here. Here's another thing. This is a small thing that we've learned. Videos with text overlay for ads have done really well because they tell a story, right? Now, your website provider will say, hey, it's going to slow down. There's going to be a lag time. I would prefer a lag time and a clear story than somebody getting off my page because they didn't understand the image. Now, if you have something that's like all for 50-year-old and you had a great video and it showed that, display that. And I can show you guys one here. Modern Humans CrossFit isn't like other gyms. We do things. Oh, you guys have the same website provider. So I would say the buttons throughout. I probably wouldn't talk about confused about CrossFit because that ends up putting doubt in my mind. Like, why would I be confused? Well, maybe I should watch this video, right? I'm taking away from why I already went here. And I want to be clear on why results driven, all of that stuff straight up front for everybody. So yeah, the buttons throughout. And here's a great thing, guys. People buy from people. So if you can have great testimonials with like their ages and like even kind of their occupation generally. This is an attorney that's 40 years old, has 3 kids, and has been crushing it in the gym, has lost 30 pounds. Hear from, Ryan, right? Tell that story a little bit. One of my favorite books called Fans by Pat Flynn is become your client's biggest like hero, like your biggest advocate for them. And then if you tell that great story on Instagram, people are going to be like, these people really care about them. I want to go to this place. So I think the biggest thing for you guys on websites is a clear things. So I'd get rid of community gym. I would say we're fitness, a gym for all fitness levels to get in it to deliver the best results that you've ever had in your life or something like that, right? So I'd look at the website and be like, I'm a beginner, all fitness levels, great. I'm going to get results and I'm going to be in the best shape of my life, right? And I can see on the background, this gym really doesn't look that intimidating.
Doesn't look
You do a
intimidating
good,
at all. I mean,
exactly.
there's some cool stuff like a kipping pull-up, but you see so much that's accessible.
Yeah. And I think the video, I would really even make that video brighter to really tell a better story. And then let the text just be super simple and probably like 5 words and let that video tell the story a little more.
That's great.
Any questions that you guys have? Am I the only one? Oh, my guys got off here. That's rude.
You probably had other calls with
I guess.
clients. Thank you so much, Blake, for taking the time. I don't know, I didn't see any questions hop in the chat if anyone wanted to come off mute with one, but
yeah, if you guys have any questions, feel free to book a call with us or anything.
Yeah, the website analysis thing, do you do that typically like right away if a client signs up with you? Like, let's
yeah, here's the thing, guys. So like when you run paid marketing, everything has to work together, right? Like if I put your messaging out that you're for 40-year-old to 50-year-olds and I go to your website and everybody's 20, it doesn't align with the ads. And so then people just drop off. So everything will go through the website audit, and half the time we see that the links are either broken, it's too hard to book, that the copy, and website companies hate us because it's like we can go change all their templates. But at the end of the day, it has to, because, and I'll just say this is the last point, you're 2025, everybody knows what an ad is. Like I went to church the other day, something like that. I'm not going to buy something off an ad. I'm going to go do the research, right? And then I'm going to go to Google, and then I'm going to type in chirp because I forgot the website URL, and then I'm going to go purchase it. So the best leads are going to end up on your website and come through that booking link. That's why also you just look at overall landscape of metrics. How many signups did I used to get before I run ads? If I was getting 5, I'm getting 10. I know there's a net 5 due to marketing. I'm not going to get lost in all the other stuff because the best leads are going to do the research and they're going to go everywhere. But that's why, to your point, Katie, everything is so important, that your Facebook, your Instagram, all your website has to be cohesive, because then you get the best quality lead coming in.
Thank you guys all for being on the call. Thank you, Lasso. Thank you, Blake.
Sure.
I'm going to hit everyone up with the final details, and if they're interested in booking a call to chat with you guys some more and answer any other questions they might have. But really appreciate all the info.
Of course, guys. Thank you guys. See you later.